There's a lot of drama that's taking place on Turning Point USA conference. Obviously, Nicki Minaj speaking at Turning Point USA is a big deal. Nicki Minaj, ladies and gentlemen, Nicki Minaj. The Nicki Minaj. I have a tie-in to this with Dave Chappelle because, like, I've never been like a barb or anything. I've never been like a massive Nicki Minaj fan at any point in my life, but I was a massive Dave Chappelle fan at some point in my life. And I do think that, like, there is somewhat of a comparison here that we can make. Obviously, Dave Chappelle nowhere near as bad as Nicki Minaj. That's not my point at all. From my perspective, I understand when your goat is washed. That's all I'm saying. I know what it's like when your goat is washed, okay? When you're like, why? What are you doing? Right? And I know people have gone through this. People have gone through this with other incredibly talented people. Do not say that about LeBron. How dare you? Okay? No, LeBron is not washed. Shut up. Washed and bald, take the L. Stop. Stop the hate. Time out. So what I was saying is I understand when, you know, someone who has been very impactful in your life, in your development, someone you like admired, someone whose music, played a big role in you coming to terms with things in reality, you know, got you through hard times or whatever. Like I don't personally understand it. Like I don't have a direct musical equivalent, but I get how people operate, right? But I think it's time to just give up, you know? Noam Chomsky, another great example of this. If your goats or if people that are influential in your life have lived long lives and had storied careers, at a certain point in that time frame, they're just going to turn not so great. Nicki has been cringe for over a decade. I don't understand how people are taking this hard. I think she's never placed a flag on one side this hard. I think that's what it is. She's never fully leaned into it. So I think a lot of people who aren't like tapped in to all of like the other stuff that Nicki Minaj has done, who just like simply listen to the music or whatever, have never seen her go this hard. She's just like straight up saying, I, Nicki Minaj, am MAGA. I love MAGA. I love Donald Trump. I'm going on the Turning Point USA conference. Like, and see, some people are cutting that. Some people are going, nah, that's too much, right? that's a bit much. So Nicki Minaj goes on Turning Point USA conference after like spending the last couple of months glazing the Trump administration.
So those of you who know, Charlie was very good about having a surprise for...
Amongst the barbs, there's still a lot of like, is she actually fully leaning in? What is she doing? Maybe there's an alternative reason for this. I think with Nicki Minaj, it's much more simple than all these conspiracies. I think she's just pivoting. I think she's pivoting in a way where she wants allies, and she wants the right-wing movement to back her. I think it's partially because she's a little bit older and a little bit more washed now, that she's slower on the trends. Like she's almost become a mega corporation herself, right? In all of her career. Nowadays, she's trying to rest on the laurels of her former success while simultaneously move into different directions, right? And part of that is this right-wing grift, it seems. It's impossible to ignore her contributions to culture, but she has gone off the deep end. Exactly. But she has been off the deep end for quite a while, but now she's like fully dove into the deep end and is saying, this is where I'm at. So this becomes unavoidable for a lot of people. Even if you are constantly doing the Kanye West style, like he made graduation for Nicki Minaj, this is one step before you know, for many of the fans, the moment that you do stuff like this, it becomes unavoidable. You have staked your claim, battle lines are drawn, you have decided this is who you are, and this is the movement that you are going to be a part of. In any case, let's take a look at what some of this conversation looked like.
Every Amfest, and we are so blessed to have you. We are so grateful. I mean...
Thank you. I'm honored to be here. I am honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
So we're just going to dive right into this. You had...
Cultural driving forces are never going to be on the right, no matter how hard they try. I'm sorry. People who formerly might have actually contributed to culture in meaningful ways, once they're losing all the glory, might actually pivot to the right. But it's very obvious that for the most part, a lot of the art and a lot of the culture is still moving because there are a lot of woke people from progressive backgrounds, the people who are at the beginnings of their careers, the people who are working hard, moving and shaking culture right now, people with actual motion, they're not gonna do that. And we're talking about the arts. We're not talking about podcasting. You can dominate the podcasting sphere. You can dominate the media sphere with right-wing sentiment all day, every day. But we're talking about art, okay? And that's precisely the reason why conservatives will grab onto any celebrity that's not like Kevin Sorbo and celebrate the fact that they're like openly becoming right-wing, okay?
Some fun words for Governor Newsom. I have to read these tweets because they're amazing and they are so funny. Okay, first one, we'll do this one.
Wow, thanks, Erica. You have a real commanding presence, Erica. Ha, let's read some of your funny tweets about J.D. Vance. This shit is washed. It's motionless. It's boring as fuck. Oh my God.
Unless you want to read it in your own voice, I think it'd be really great. Okay.
Oh, Gabby Poo, it only gets worse from here for you, buddy. It's the end of the road for you, my love. Get on the nearest jet ski and let that beautiful hair blow in the wind. It'll make you happier than this race that you will not win.
I need every barb to watch this, okay? And then watch this over and over again and then tell me if they're still on board. There ain't no way. Okay, look, I got a dog in this fight myself personally because I called this out a long time ago. I called this all the way back in 2021, okay? And I got my ass beat. I'll admit it. I saw this pivot 4 years prior. And for the last 4 years, I have not been allowed near a Sephora because that's where all the barbs congregate, okay? I can't go to a Sephora. I'm scared. I know that there is going to be someone who's 35 years old with pink hair and is a barb. I've been getting my mom to get me pimple patches for 4 years because I can't go to Sephora on my own because I'm scared. I'm scared of the barbs. In all seriousness, I believe Nicki Minaj has been telling us who she was the whole time. The truth becomes the most obvious when you examine her verse from the song Monster. She mentions pulling up in a Tonka, the color of Willy Wonka. She also states that the first thing she will do will be to eat your brains. Nicki Minaj is really RFK Jr.'s brainworm. This whole time, it was right in front of us.
So with regard to the current administration, what has been maybe the biggest surprise for you or something that you just really has been put on your heart that you've learned about our president and our vice president?
Well, I have the utmost respect and admiration for our president.
Oof. Bro, you think she's like, you think there's a point here where she's thinking like, the fuck am I doing, man? These people are clowns. Or you think she's just like fully in? I feel like she's fully in. She's in it. It's just like, there has to be a point where she looks back at her career and goes, how do we get here? Like, there has to be a point in this conversation where like there's a quick flashback to like your apex point. You know what I mean? Where you're just, you're dominating culture. And now you're sitting across from Erica fucking Kirk at the Toilet Paper USA Amerifest conference. Oof. The problem with the barbs is that most of them have collapsed their entire identity into Nicki. Their whole worldview is filtered through whatever benefits her. So in this case, politics is a game to them, not about material consequences, but about what Nicki can extract from it and which narrative about their queen they can win that day. They treat literally everything like a Stan war when it's so much more serious than that. The people she's sharing a stage with, who are doing so much damage to the country right now, do not like her fan base's people. Erica Kirk will sit there and smile in her face with that pageant queen grin because what they like is the numbers and however they can amplify their hate. The very identity of probably most of the barbs is exactly what those movements vehemently oppose. Charlie Kirk himself was against gay marriage and openly transphobic. Yet there's Nicki positioning herself there, throwing her fans under the bus, and it's really sad to watch them allow their fandom to get in the way of critical thinking about their own interests outside of that lady. 100% true. I noticed this as well, and it's really funny because like there are people who have yelled at Nicki Minaj and her fan base that are in that room that despise her. There are people in that room that despise every single Nicki Minaj fan. There are people in that room, the majority in that room thinks Nicki Minaj's output and her contributions to culture is disgusting, morally degenerate, perverted, perverse. And yet they're excited because they're like, oh, it's a famous person. Charlie Kirk himself used to listen to Nicki Minaj in private, right? Alongside Candace Owens. But on camera, what was Charlie Kirk saying about Nicki Minaj? Exactly what Ben Shapiro was saying about Nicki Minaj. Why was he always shitting on Nicki Minaj? The Barb's going to crucify you? I think the Barbs need to take a cold, hard reality check, which is not going to come for many of the Barbs. If they're holding on at this point, they're just going to lean into the MAGA shit now, I guess. You're just going to have a bunch of Barbs who are now MAGA, right? Alongside Nicki. A lot of the people that are still invested in what Nicki Minaj does as this 5D chess play or whatever, like, oh, she must be leaning into the Trump side and the MAGA grift. Like, if you are holding on at that point, nothing will get you off the train, right?
He has, I don't know if he even knows this, but he's given so many people hope that there's a chance to beat the bad guys and to win and to do it with your head held high and your integrity intact. He's from Queens, New York, like me. So, but what it's shown me personally is sometimes, even in the worst feeling times in your life, you think that you're never gonna come back from it, but you do. And our president shows that. He's been through every single thing a person could be through publicly, having to constantly be lied on. It's not really that funny. Until you are in that person's shoes that's being lied on, you'll never understand what it feels like. That person is a human being. They have a family who has to read those lies.
Jesus Christ, dude. Bro, this literally, you know what this feels like to me? This is like everyone yelled at me so much that I became right-wing.
And that's not, and it's just not fair. But
look what you made me do.
Administration is full of people with heart and soul, and they make me proud of them. Our vice president, he makes me, well, I love both of them, but they're both powerful men, smart, strong, all of that. Both of them have a very
Also, when people say like, oh, these people get lied on, it's like, first of all, every public figure gets lied on, myself included, okay? Sometimes they're not lies, like in your case. Having said that, this shouldn't change your fucking worldview or your convictions. And also, if we're talking about like, oh, these people get lied on, but they're such wonderful people, and you're talking about Donald Trump, the entire Trump train moves by lying about entire swaths of the population. It's bullshit. I hate this kind of this oversimplification, right? The oversimplification of like, well, people are just like speaking ill of his name. I hate that people are speaking ill of Donald Trump's name. These are good guys. It's like, what do you mean? They speak ill of entire broad swaths of the population.
Any ability to
and they don't just like talk shit about entire broad swaths of the population. They take action. Their words turn into action.
Someone that
harm people directly.
To them. When I hear them speak, I know that they're one of us. Like, I know that they're not. Don't you guys agree? They haven't lost touch of the world. They're still connected to the world and what's happening in the world, with the younger people and older people, with the richer people and not so rich people. They have the ability to still connect and be real and make us feel proud to be American.
So why now have you been involved with speaking about politics? What was kind of the turning point for you? Yeah.
What was the turning point? Well, I just got tired of being pushed around. Sometimes you just get tired of it, and then you realize, wait a minute, I have something inside of me that's stronger than what's out there.
This is the type of shit that really pisses me off in general, when people are just like, oh, I got bullied into being right-wing. Like, do you have no worldview at all? Do you not give a shit about anything? Why would you openly admit that you are spineless? This is the thing that I do not understand. Not only did those black and brown fans, her female fans, and her LGBTQ fans make her an incredibly rich and incredibly famous person, and now she's just like writing them off, but also She's doing it in the weakest way possible. I hate that shit. This is my least favorite thing that people say whenever they're like, well, people yelled at me too much, so I dropped all of my previous convictions. All you're saying is that you're a grifter. You're an amoral grifter who will move in whichever direction that suits you personally. People have yelled at me every single day for the past 12 years, okay? Nicki Minaj's stands, Barb's, have yelled at me. Did that cause me to switch teams? Now I'm actually right wing. No, of course not. You have to have some fucking convictions, man. What the hell is this?
When you've had enough, you realize, wait a minute, why do I even care about these people and what they think? Who are they? They don't even know who they are. So I'm not going to back down anymore. I'm not going to back down ever again.
Amen. Can the students in the room raise your hand? Wow. This question is for you guys. So you guys are very courageous and bold on your campus. Nicki, I know our students feel this way, but why do you think speaking your mind has become so controversial?
Because people no longer are using their minds, their brains. So right now, just imagine, we're not allowed to have a different opinion anymore. We're not allowed to think out loud anymore. We're not, this is not what the world used to feel like. And especially for the young people, I don't want them growing up in a world where they feel like that.
Yeah, the real bullies are the people who won't be quietly persecuted, prosecuted, destroyed, have their lives ruined by this administration. That's who the real bullies are, everybody. Not the people doing that. Okay, not the most powerful entity on the planet, the United States of American government. It's actually the victims of the United States and its imperial endeavors. Those are the real fucking bullies. What are we doing?
Again, Charlie would always say, it really does not take skill to be courageous. It takes a choice. It takes a decision. And I want to say again, thank you for coming and being courageous and being able to share your heart with us. And the reason why that also holds true sentiment-wise is because I know that...
Dude, also the permanent victimhood status of right-wingers is so funny. It's like, wow, thank you for being so courageous to go to a, multi-million-dollar conference that the president's entire family speaks at, where you defend the fucking president of the United States of America. What are we doing? You're so brave for defending the president.
You are getting a lot of backlash from your own industry. What is your reaction to that?
I didn't notice.
Amen. I feel the same way. When people are like, what do you think about them? I'm like, I don't think about them.
Bingo. We don't even think about them.
We don't have time to. We're too busy building, right?
Yeah, we're the cool kids.
Okay.
The other people, they're the ones who are still just disgruntled, but really they're just disgruntled with themselves. They are angry with themselves, you guys. So you can't wake up and think about somebody who is determined to just stay mad. I literally tell them, stay mad.
Amen.
Stay mad. Because we're going to stay joyful,
yep,
and peaceful and iconic and smart, and we're going to stay thinkers. In a world that doesn't want us to think, we will think by ourselves, on our own. We will continue to think.
People see through this, right? Yeah. I mean, this is for absolutely nobody other than Nicki Minaj. I need you to understand. This is such a transparent attempt of leaning into a right-wing movement because you think that's where the entirety of society is shifting. She's doing this just for herself and nobody else, right? She's basically writing off her entire fandom. It's unimaginably selfish, unimaginably narcissistic. Oh, people yelled at me too much because of the weird decisions that I made, and they yelled about it too much. And I also lost the momentum that I once had. And so now I'm just like very openly moving in this direction in the grift, right? I'm leaning into this wave because I think that this is the next meta. It's very obvious, and I think so obvious that you will see more and more fans just go, no, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I can't be a part of this anymore. The ones that remain will get increasingly more isolated and increasingly more insane.